Okay.
Hello. How are
Hello.
you?
And welcome back to another Playhouse chat. We're outside near the stage door. This is first of well, it's not a new series, obviously, it's part of the Playhouse chat things, but it's the first of our reviews. So we're doing reviews.
Because we came to see...
And we're only doing reviews on shows that we've actually seen. And so we're going to review this.
Midsummer Night's Dream.
No. It's all kicking off in the woods. It's a new play, and it's the first from Midsummer Night's Dream, obviously. All kicking off in the woods. And before I start, I'm going to give you a little synopsis from my little book, red book, of Shakespeare. Shakespeare.
That's not so little.
No. I got this at the Shakespeare Birthplace Trust Cast.
In Stratford.
In Stratford.
Yes, I know.
It's a very good book. But I'll tell you what the synopsis says about the Midsummer Night's Dream in here. This is,
how long is
this
the
is
synopsis?
It's only a few lines. This is basically Shakespeare for grown-ups, so it's simplified Shakespeare. A Midsummer Night's Dream. Mistakenly administering of love juice results in Titania, Queen of the Fairies, falling for ass bottom, while two sets of couples get confused in the woods before the natural order of things is restored.
So that's the beginning, the middle and the end.
That's it. That's basically what the story's about, if you're not familiar with Shakespeare. So, what are your feelings on this play, Catherine?
You want me to give my view first?
Yeah, go on. Well, you can start it off, and we can have a discussion about it.
Right.
Tell us what you thought.
Okay. Well, we saw it last night.
Yeah.
I think Midsummer Night's Dream, I think that there's been so many different interpretations of it over the years, hasn't there? So it's always difficult to do a new and refreshing take on the play. But I think they achieved that in a lot of respects. I think it was a really good play. It was really well produced. The setting it was in the cockpit in the National Theatre here, Theatre of the North here, was stunning. National Theatre, sorry. And Shakespeare's Theatre North in Prescot was stunning in the round, because it's designed on the original theatre that used to be here, and it's a beautiful. It was a beautiful setting scene. It was lovely. It was really nice. It was candlelit. It had a lovely atmosphere. It almost provoked that sense of supernatural, which Midsummer Night's Dream does in some respects.
So would you say it was magical, Kath?
It was magical. It was intriguing. It was quite challenging, I think, also because the size of the performance space. I mean, it's a wonderful personal space. It's not a massive space, but for 12 members of cast to be able to, make use of that space and own that space and deliver so well was commendable. I think it was the joining of two theatre companies, wasn't it? Northern Stage from Newcastle and the Warrington Theatre Company, which was
Warrington.
No.
Not Too Tame.
Not Too Tame.
Yeah, two theatre companies come together to produce
Not Too
this
Tame
show.
Theatre Company and
isn't it?
Northern Stage.
Yeah.
But I thought it was really interesting. But the thing that appealed to me the most, and something I'd like to point out as well, which was niggling me a little bit last night, all the performances were commendable, superb. And the scenes with Titania in the woods with the fairy folk, what that evoked was really special. I think it was really, really nice. But what I did take a bit of credence with, I mean, I've studied Midsummer Night's Dream as part of an English literature course, and Titania and Oberon were always almost sparring partners in a way, but always on an equal level. They were always, seen as equally as people.
Now, you're not going to give away the plot, are you?
I'm not giving away the plot. I'm not giving away anything. But what I mean, it was good. I mean, they had a voice over representing Oberon, didn't they?
Which means the actor didn't appear on stage.
No, it was
playing Oberon. It was
exactly.
Yeah.
I'm just about to say
Yeah,
that.
I know that.
But for them to be equal partners in how the play is portrayed seemed to me a little bit understated in Titania's role, because she was singly there, but it was almost like Oberon was the higher power, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. I think it was kind of like that interpretation of Oberon being this omnipresent super godlike
and
being.
in her respects of always having to converse with a voiceover that's coming from the heavens, if you like, coming from the skies, it puts her in a slightly subservient role.
Yeah, it was kind of
that's my personal.
Yeah, I mean,
feeling.
throughout history, the interpretation of Midsummer Night's Dream has always been about these two equal in power,
exactly,
dynamics
creatures
going on. Yeah, in Fairyland,
kings and queens, whatever.
Trouble in Fairyland.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the famous quarrel between Oberon and Titania, is all it's a central theme of this play. And
so omitting
that's
Oberon, I know Oberon doesn't have a huge lot to do in the play, but omitting him physically, though it worked well.
Yeah,
and I you know, I appreciated how they did it. I didn't feel, for me, it represented the two character roles in the way that it could have done.
No. And was the voice recorded by any chance? Oh, because this could have been a cop-out as far as the performance was staged, is you have a recorded voice, so you don't have to pay the actors or the actresses as much as if they were there physically.
Presently, in the physical
so you
sense,
just record the voice, and that voice...
I mean, that's a thing that is done a lot today, isn't it? You know, performances. But for this particular play, it's just something I wanted to comment on.
Well, that's fair enough.
I also love the fact that there was Lysander's role was played by a deaf actor, which was, I think, was really refreshing.
It was
and
good,
it was good
wasn't
to
it?
see the use of British Sign Language on stage between the couples, Hermia and Lysander.
That was very good. That was very good.
And just everybody's performance was spot on. And what I did admire was the use of that stage and how they intersected between scenes, and it ran like clockwork. It was fabulous.
So
it was. Though I wasn't too partial to the effing and jeffing.
Oh, the effing and jeffing.
So
do you know
it's
what?
just a view. It's my personal view, folks. It's not a blanket view. It's just mine.
Well, you're entitled to it, Kath. I'm sure Shakespeare would appreciate your personal view.
Can I just say one more thing?
Go on.
It's a Shakespeare play. It's Midsummer Night's Dream. It's been done right across the globe in so many different interpretations. And I think the actors who performed last night were fabulous. And a lot of them were doing a debut, you know, and some of them are more seasoned. And they were a wonderful mix of two companies coming together. But, you know, the little bit at the end where it got into the realms of panto.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It became a bit...
I mean, I know it's bawdy, it's a bawdy comedy, and all that frivolous and that audience participation is part of Shakespeare thing, you know. But the little bit where it went over into the panto zone was not really...
There were actually moments
needed,
where you think,
I don't think,
well, do you really need to do that?
No, because I think their standard of acting was superb.
These are some of the greatest... This is some of the greatest writing ever written.
Exactly.
Why do you need to...
You don't need to do that.
Put these needless things in, you know, like have the audience dancing and have us...
Yeah. I mean, some people like that. Some people think that's brilliant. And they're entitled to that, but some people don't.
To a point. Yeah. But if you're a die-hard Shakespearean, then I think you would be very disappointed at the performance, because...
I don't think they'd be very disappointed.
I think they would. I mean, I was trying to think about this and think. I mean, when I came out the theatre last night, I was really. I thought it was
you were buzzing,
absolutely buzzing. Yeah. I really enjoyed it, and I still have great memories of it now. I really
enjoyed it.
Enjoy the performance, but there were moments where I thought, yeah, do you need to do that? And actually, would this
Because
appeal to people who went to the Globe or Stratford? Yeah,
But again, I think the element is breaking down that barrier to people who don't generally go to the theatre
Yeah.
and are being introduced newly to Shakespeare.
Yeah.
But having said that, you still don't need that, because within that play there is a comedy.
There's enough
play.
there, isn't there?
There's a comedy.
It is one
troupe
of Shakespeare's comedies. Yeah.
is a comedy troupe within a play, isn't it?
Yeah.
So all that was going on anyway. So it just seemed a little bit
Unnecessary. Yeah, I agree with that.
So what's your overall feel on it?
I loved it.
You've got to talk.
I absolutely loved the play. I loved the way it was interpreted, and I love the acting. And you know, they say acting is the art of telling lies. Well, these actors are brilliant at telling lies, and if they ever appeared in court, they'd all get sentenced to life imprisonment because, quite simply, they tell very good lies right from the very start. And it was probably one of the most exciting and interesting introductions.
Without giving the
We
plot
can't
away,
give anything away,
don't.
but as soon as you enter the Shakespeare North Theatre, you know that something is amiss. I can't tell you any more than that, but it was a brilliant way of using theatre right from the
I thought
very
that
off.
was a nice spin on it.
I thought
actually,
it was great.
in the intro,
I love that, and
as
there
you're
was
in the foyer.
there was lots of creativity in the show. In fact, it was crammed with creativity. In fact, the director, who got form, by the way, because he actually directed stuff at the Globe Theatre.
Cymbeline.
Oh, yeah, apparently.
Well, one of them did.
He's got form, hasn't he?
It's
Now he
Matthew-
would be in prison because he has got form against
Is it
Shakespeare.
Matthew? Is it a combination of Matthew Johnston and James Fairhurst
Yeah.
who come together to direct?
Yeah, but they haven't got
But
great
Matthew-
reviews in London.
Yeah. No, but I think his Imogen play had a little bit of a.
Yeah,
Short.
I mean, you've read the reviews, haven't you?
Yeah.
So he's got form, the director, and he's.
I like
he's-
his take on it.
Yeah, he's actually thrown the bathroom sink in here. But it's a very northern production. I don't think this production would go down well in London. I don't think it'd go well down in Stratford. It might go well in the National Theatre. If it was
Yeah, I
performed
think it'd do quite
in the
well
National Theatre, I think it'd go well.
Yeah.
But it's a very northern production, and in a way, that's what you want. You want a production that is of the north. You know, if you're coming up to Prescot, you don't want to see something that you can see in the Globe. You don't want to see something that you can see in Stratford. You want a northern take on it. You want something that's different. That's something that
Not all
tells
the
the
time,
story.
but
Well, I
some of
think
the
you do,
time.
because I think Prescott has an opportunity here
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
to tell Shakespeare in a different light, in a different way, that gives a different spin on it and makes you look at Shakespeare differently.
Well, actually, the National Theatre have done some really off-the-wall.
They have.
Productions of
They
Midsummer
have.
Night's Dream.
Yeah, they have.
And other
Yeah.
venues.
I never forget Judi
it's-
Dench in Midsummer's Night's Dream,
that's
1969
very
production, where she goes topless. That is a treat to be seen.
You might not think that today, though, if you saw it.
Well, if she comes next year, I'll pull her up about that. So, yeah, I mean, they've done some fantastic ones, and I remember a brilliant one of Jane Eyre, which they did in Birmingham, which was
fab.
totally off the wall.
That started in Belfast.
Yeah, and I thought that was brilliant.
great,
But the National Theatre do a lot of this kind of stuff, this is a very modern take
I think it's
on Shakespeare.
Yeah, I think
it's not what you
no,
expect to
and
see.
It's rebellious in a lot of ways against the tradition
Yeah.
of how you perform and
It
how
is.
you present. But there was a lot of the traditional elements.
Yeah.
You know, the nature of the play didn't change, and that was fabulous. But
Yeah.
it also had the new and quite rebellious, I suppose, in some respects,
Yeah.
you might say, performance.
There was a lot of effing and blinding, and we did hear comments that as somebody who came up from London, who said, it's a long way to come for effing and blinding.
Well, we met
Which
two,
is good.
We met two folks from Lancaster, didn't we?
We did. Amanda
and
and
Martin
from
Yeah.
Lancaster.
Yeah.
Lancaster,
Came
by
all
the way, is the spiritual home of Lancastrians. It's the capital of Lancashire,
Yeah, yeah.
and they came all the way to Prescott to see that.
See that. Yeah.
And they'd been to other performances as well.
They
which
went
is
to
brilliant,
Good
isn't
Grief
it?
as well.
So that's for all you doubting Thomases who say this wouldn't attract people from outside Prescot. Well, it has. And they're coming up from London. They're coming up from all over Lancashire and elsewhere. And they're coming here to the theatre. They're bringing money into Prescott.
But remember, any theatre in its very early stages, this is a big venture.
Yeah.
You know, and it's got to hone itself, if you like.
Yeah.
And it's got to build on its reputation. Now,
That's
whichever
right.
way they go with that, whichever way route they take, in the traditional sense, in the more modern, more, thought-provoking sense, whichever they do, they've got to make a stand. They've got to create an identity.
They have.
For this space, this venue, and also for performers who are coming in here to perform.
Absolutely.
And also for people and attracting them in. So it's very early on.
It is.
At the
It's
moment.
and the beginnings are a very delicate time. To quote
But having
the opening
said,
scene of June. No, the beginnings are a very delicate time, but I think they've got off to a good foot here.
yeah,
They've got off to a good.
Well, I was reading the reviews, the
start.
Telegraph and the Guardian and the Stage
Yeah.
and all of them, and all of them were really good, sound, well balanced, thought provoking reviews. There was only one review, I think it was the North West End UK. Who seemed to be a little bit on the negative side.
Yeah.
Yeah. But all the reviews were fabulous.
I think it's challenging for someone who's a traditionalist in Shakespeare and the theatre. You know, I know last night Lord Derby was here. God knows what they must have thought of it. My God. Mind you, I think they're probably
that's commonplace.
They're probably
for the aristocracy.
That's true. Pass me the effing pheasant and all that. And it was nice. It was nice last night to see the actual architect of the building, Nick Helm, had come.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm going to do a vlog with Nick and over the Zoom or whatever. He's actually based in London, but it was nice to see him again. And he did let on, and he's a very nice chap.
Yeah.
So that was good.
Designed the building with a team of
And it's good to see people from near and far.
What I did like, and I don't know if anybody gets to see it, there's a beautiful photo shot. I think it's by the Telegraph or the Guardian.
Oh yes.
Of the scene where Titania is in sleep
in the forest.
With the fairy folk.
Very famous
and
scene.
they've done an aerial shot.
Yeah.
And it looks.
I'll flash it up.
Stunning. You'd have to put it up.
I'll flash it up.
Because it looks beautiful. Yeah. And I thought those scenes were really, really good.
They were
really
great, weren't they?
Yeah.
So okay, that's our take on Shakespeare. Midsummer's Night's Dream. It's all kicking off in the woods. Would only if you want to come along, by the way, and do a chat where you can on things that we haven't reviewed, because we're only going to review the things we actually see. But if you've seen something at the theatre that you think you're burning to say something about it, then you can contact us for a chat, and we'll come here and have a chat and add to the mix, as it were. It's good to give reviews from ordinary people who've actually visited the theatre. You don't have to be a professional. You don't have to be...
what did one person say to us at Stratford?
A critic is only an ordinary person. Shakespeare said that.
What did one person say to us at Stratford when we were interviewing people outside about do they know about the Shakespeare North in Prescot being built? And we were down there earlier in the year. And somebody said...
They thought it was a supermarket.
No. When I'm done referring back to what you're saying about this is for ordinary people, this is for people who... Well, we're all ordinary people. This is for people who haven't really had a view into Shakespeare. But one person described themselves as a professional Shakespearean.
Oh, yeah?
Now, I don't understand
I've never met
why.
Well, I have met a professional Shakespearean. I met her outside the theatre.
Oh, yeah?
What is a professional Shakespearean?
Do they study Shakespeare? Do they teach Shakespeare? Do they...
I don't know. Do you know
I
what?
don't know.
Shakespeare is for everyone. And if you don't understand the language, well, you're not alone. You don't understand half the language, but you can get the gist. Shakespeare is one of those things that can be interpreted in many different ways.
Yeah.
It's ambiguous. And the actual theatre doesn't happen on the stage, and it doesn't happen with the people watching the stage. It happens somewhere in between. in that magical space between the stage and between you absorbing whatever you're seeing.
What's happening.
That's where the theatre happens.
And the
Shakespeare
thing-
says that,
Yeah,
doesn't
the
he?
thing about it doesn't just happen on the moment time it's happening.
Yeah.
You take it away with you as well. You digest it, you
You do.
talk about it,
And
you
your
remember it,
opinions
you
change
appreciate it.
based upon your memories, yeah.
It has longevity.
Okay, we've nattered on for long enough. Thanks for joining us, and I hope you join us again for another...
Blog. Or Playhouse Chat.
That's it.
Whichever the shape may be.
The King's Palace or the Queen's,
No. The King's
Castle.
Castle or the Queen's Palace.
whichever's
Or
the
the other way
nearest. See you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.